This episode is brought to you by Comixology, an Amazon partner and the leading online platform for digital comic books. So for cheap digital comic books, check out Comixology in the link below. What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Skid Reviews, and the mask is on. That can mean only one thing. That's right, we're going to be talking about Deadpool 2. Now, Deadpool is one of my favorite comic book characters of all time from the Marvel comic book universe. And when the first Deadpool movie starring Ryan Reynolds came out a couple of years back, I absolutely loved it. So when I found out that a sequel to Deadpool 1 was going to be released this year, I was super excited for this one, man. So I just came back literally a couple of hours back from watching the Deadpool 2 movie, and I can tell you that Ryan Reynolds is as magnificent as ever. I mean, there has been no other actor who was born for a role as much as Ryan Reynolds was born to play Wade Wilson or Deadpool. I mean, he is just amazing. And when you see Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool on the big screen, it's like you're reading one of the Deadpool comic books, man. It's so similar. I mean, he embodies everything that we all love and hate about Wade Wilson. Ryan Reynolds is definitely one of the best things about this movie, but at the same time, Josh Brolin as Cable, you'll remember him as Thanos from Infinity War. Boy, is he having a good year, is magnificent as well. One of the good things in this movie is Josh Brolin as Cable, the mutant from the future. So basically how the story for Deadpool goes is, and I'm not going to be giving away any spoilers here, but the gist of it is that Cable, played by Josh Brolin, comes back from the future to our time to kill this kid who is played by Julian Dennison, who you'll remember from The Hunt for the Wilder People, which was a fantastic comedy. And Deadpool assembles a gang of, his mates and goes out to prevent that from happening. So it's a very straightforward movie, and the thing is, the straightforwardness of the story worked in the first movie, because the first movie was unlike the first Deadpool movie was unlike any other superhero movie that we had seen. It took the R-rated genre and made it its own. It charted the path for the future of superhero movies. It was only because of Deadpool 1 that we got to see an R-rated Logan last year, and Logan was by far the best superhero movie to come out of this whole X-Men Fox universe thing. Similar to the first one, the second movie also has quite a straightforward storyline, and I can't really complain about that. A tangent to the basic storyline, of course, is the formation of the X-Force. Now, an X-Force movie will come out sometime next year, reportedly, but this is the first step towards the development of the X-Force team. It also has fantastic action. I could argue that the action sequences in Deadpool 2 is a whole lot better than Deadpool 1. And also, we can't forget about how fucking funny this movie is. Because for me, Deadpool should always be a comedy movie more than an action movie. It should be a comedy movie with a lot of action, and I think they succeeded in doing that. It is as hilarious and as ridiculous as the first one, and I loved every single bit of it. Of course, some of the jokes didn't land, but that's bound to happen when you have so many funny things being thrown at in this movie. Josh Brolin as Cable is one of the best things in this movie, and he is having a fantastic year, and I just love his portrayal of Cable. I mean, he is so believable, and I can completely picture this guy in the comic books. Another character that I really like in this movie is Domino, who is played by Zazie Beetz. She is fierce, funny, and all in all, really awesome. So now that we've talked about the good things in this movie, the comedy was awesome, the action was awesome, the story was meh, it was straightforward, but we can't really complain about that because we don't really expect really good storylines, convoluted storylines in a Deadpool movie. But it was okay, and I enjoyed every bit of it. However, is this better than the first one? That was the question that I was left with. And to be honest, no. I still think that the first Deadpool movie is way, way more superior than this one. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this fucking thing is really messing with my eyes. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this is a bad movie in any sense of the word. I honestly think that my expectations from Deadpool 2 was a bit too much. The first Deadpool movie was so revolutionary in my opinion. It was so left field. It left everyone in such a state of shock. It, turned the superhero movie genre upside down, and it showed how, a faithful comic book adaptation from the books to the big screen can be made, that my expectations from the second one were a bit too much, I think. I expected the second movie to retain the fun element, the self-referential humor, the fourth wall breaking aspect of Deadpool from the first movie, but I thought they would take another step forward and add to that. Do something more with it. And in some parts they attempted to do it in the second movie, but I don't think it really worked. For instance, there are scenes, I'm not going to spoil those scenes for you, where you kind of go through a journey of exploration of the character of Wade Wilson, not Deadpool, but Wade Wilson the man. It's an admirable attempt at a character study, but I don't think that they did that very well, and it wasn't very convincing for me. Also, another thing that I didn't like in this movie was TJ Miller as Weasel. TJ Miller is a fantastic actor. He is super funny, and I kind of liked him in the first Deadpool movie, the small parts that he had. But in this movie, I mean, he does the same thing over and over again, and then, it just doesn't seem funny anymore. It's just lame, and it just played out. Another disappointment for me was Negasonic Teenage Warhead, played by Brianna Hildebrand. This character, first of all, the name, Negasonic Teenage Warhead. I mean, that is just the most awesome superhero name that you could ever have. And in the first movie, I quite liked that character, even though she didn't have much to do. She was really interesting. And I expected to see more of her in the second movie, but I was kind of disappointed that they didn't really explore her character that much. I hope she gets to be in X-Force, in the future X-Force movie, and I look forward to seeing or to knowing more and to learning about this character. Speaking about Negasonic Teenage Warhead, I just love saying that name. That is so awesome. So speaking about her, we need to talk about X-Force as well. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I keep saying that, but then I really want to spoil things here. So there is this one scene which has to do with the formation of the X-Force, all right? And you better look out for that, because that was so unexpected, and that is easily the funniest scene in any superhero movie. Marvel Cinematic Universe, I know you guys are known for your humor, but you guys take a backseat, because that scene in this movie is just so hilarious. I was in stitches, man. That was so fucking funny, so kudos. By the end of the movie, I was satisfied. It was only after the movie that I began to think about the first movie that I, kind of pinpointed some things that I was disappointed with. And speaking of the end of the movie, there's only one end credit scene. There's no end credit scene. There's one mid credit scene, and I have to talk about that, because that mid-credit scene could probably be the best mid-credit scene or end-credit scene in the history of comic book movies. It is so funny, so be sure to wait for that mid-credit scene. It is just awesome, and you will not want to miss that. So there you go, that was my review of Deadpool 2. You would have noticed that there was no voice over the trailer for this review, and it's because I'm not feeling really well, and one of the reasons why I'm wearing this mask is because underneath this mask, I am a total mess with sunken eyes and, really shabby hair and everything. Anyways, what did you guys think about this movie? If you've watched it, then let us know your thoughts. Do you think this is better than the first one, or do you still prefer Deadpool 1? Let us know in the comments below. And next week, there's another really exciting movie that's about to be released, and that's Solo, a Star Wars story. So we'll be back next week with a review of that, and I hope to see you guys in the theaters for that movie as well. As always, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more content, please do leave a like and subscribe. It takes only a second, it's free, and it helps us out a lot. So yeah, until next time, I will see ya.